Hey everybody! So, the amazing Shannon Green has started a Facebook group for her Journaling by Fives. She has videos on her YouTube, and there are several other awesome artists who have lots of videos doing this process as well. And Shannon added me to her Facebook group. Thank you, Shannon, because now, of course, I have to try this. So I thought I would take a few minutes to go through the products that I'm going to use to do this process. Be sure to go watch Shannon's. She has an introduction video on the process, and she shows you her journal that she's made. It's really awesome. It's a really quick way to fill up a journal. You're not totally completing the journal, but it fills up a journal to where later on you can work on it bit by bit if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But for me, I think it's going to be great because once I get this journal, pretty much the paint part, once I get through the painting part, I'll be able to take this with me in the car while my daughter's at dance and things like that, and I can work on these pages and add into them bit by bit. And I think for me that will be great because I don't have long blocks of time that I can spend doing any creative anything at all. I have to squeeze in time here and there, any time that I can. So I'm often taking things with me to work on in the car while I'm waiting for my daughter at school. She has dance for an hour, and so I sit there and work on projects there. So anyways, I thought that this would, for me, would be something great, something that I can keep with me to work on so that I have something to work on when I have a few minutes. So be sure to check out Shannon Green on YouTube, and she has several videos going through this. And then also she has a great Facebook page with all sorts of wonderful stuff on it. But for now, I will show you what I'm going to do. She suggests, actually, there's not a lot of rules. She uses a composition book. Last night, I wanted to start on this and didn't have a composition book close by. So I decided to use, this is a catalog type book that is free from our downtown area, and it has stores in it in our downtown. There's more than 20 pages in it, but the pages are nice thick pages, and it's basically like a magazine. And I decided to use this because I had used one of these in the past, 2013. For some reason, I did not finish October, but I used this as my right brain planner, which is also something that's really cool. So here's my right brain planner booklet, and then I just kept it in here and worked on that. But then I also tried to do some daily journaling in this, and a lot of this image was already part of this book, you can see. So I just painted around part of it. I really enjoyed working like this and having all of this color and texture and images in the background to work over. So I thought that this would be a fun journal to use for this process. But I tell you, I don't know why, and I've never done a flip on this or anything, probably because I've never finished it. But this is a magazine. But I really enjoyed working on this, and honestly, this is the most written journaling I probably have ever done, which I'm trying to work more on, is doing actual written journaling, because most of mine is all just paint. So anyways, what I decided to do is still keep open the pages that I really liked so that I can alter them however I want to later, or just leave them. But there's there's probably about 8 pages that I did not cover over, but the rest of them I made sure that I covered over 20 pages, because for this project you do 20 pages. So last night I just took the time, got out some gesso. Okay, I use Liquitex Basics. I don't like this gesso at all. I had bought it because I was in a pinch and couldn't get to Blix and buy some golden gesso. But for this, you know, it's good because I just needed something to get on these pages to cover them up. I do not like Liquitex because it is it's very grainy. It's like sandpaper, and I don't like that. I don't like working on that. Golden, when it dries, is smooth. But for this, I decided to, since that's what I had and it was almost empty, I wanted to get rid of this because I still wasn't going to waste it. So I used it for this, and I just went through and gessoed over 20 pages. And in the original, for the composition book, Shannon suggests gluing together 5 pages of the composition book together to make 1 page, and then you end up with 20 pages for your journal. But I'm doing things a little bit different. Some of them are stuck together a bit, and you know what? It's really okay. It just doesn't matter. So anyways, so that's what I'm going to use for my journal. I have greatly inspired right now by Dana Wakley. So I think I'm going to kind of use that as inspiration for my pages. I did a couple of, well, I mean, and I think what is appealing to me with this is her use of white space. So I want to try to work on that more myself, is using white space more. You know, most of my things are just full of color everywhere, totally saturated the whole page, but I would like to try to learn how to use white space more. So I am using her book and then just images of her artwork as inspiration for my pages. And I think it'll also kind of help me loosen up a bit, because it's just paint thrown on there, and that's what this process is that Shannon talks about. You're just throwing paint down, and I tend to be kind of more of a control freak, so I'm hoping this will kind of help loosen me up a bit. So that's where the inspiration's coming from. What this is, it's 5, 10, 15, 20. So 5 sessions, 10 different media, 15 minutes per session, and then a total of 20 pages. So you could actually finish this total journal in an hour if you had all of your things, all your supplies ready, set out. If you spent 15 minutes doing, well, it'd be more than an hour. If you spent 15 minutes doing these, in under 2 hours you would have a journal that's almost done. So the first session is the background, and she suggests using paints or inks. I am going to use, I have some Americana paints here. I like them because the colors are a lot more vivid, I think, than some of the other craft paints that you can buy, and I like bright, highly saturated colors. That's why I like my golden paints so much, is the color is just so intense in them. And I know with me and how picky I am about that if my colors aren't bright, that I won't be happy with what I do. So I had these Americana paints, and I think these are pretty much the colors that I'm going to use right here. I also have some of the Americana neons, and I'll probably use those a bit too, just because they're fun. So for my first session, for my backgrounds, I'm going to use paints. She also suggests using inks. I have quite a few of the FW acrylic artist inks. I might use those. It's basically anything that you want as far as paints and inks would be your first layer, your first session. For the second session, Shannon suggests doing its texture, so it's collage elements and recycling. For my collage elements, I have a huge stack of deli paper left over from other projects where I've scraped off excess paint, where it was sitting in my journal and paint got scraped off on the edges. I've got, like on this one, it's got extra gold mica flake gel, so there's gold flakes on here. You know, there's rings just left over from all sorts of projects. I keep all of these deli papers that I work on. I scrape off all of my extra paints from projects, all of my extra mediums. This is gel medium. I don't know if you can see that. It's glass bead gel. So this has actually got circles on it with glass beads. That was left over. This is the modeling paste left over from making the arrow ATCs that I made. I scraped all the extra off. And then this one is some more glass bead gel that actually has some green ink in it. So I'm going to use these as collage parts. I'll just tear them up and glue them on my pages. And I forgot to get it out. But I'll just use probably book text. Just rip up pieces of book text and put it on there. So that's what I'm going to use for the second session for collage. For the third, it's pattern. And Shannon suggests stamps and stencils. So I got out just a bunch of stamps. I do not stamp in my art journal that much, actually hardly ever. So this will be something new for me to do for sure. I've got, these are still stuck together, they're not even cut. So I'll probably just take this off and ink up this whole thing and slap it on there. But I've got alphabet, book text, some numbers. This is kind of a wood grain. I just have, you know, these are just ones that I have in my drawer, and I'm just going to pull out whatever and use those. I also have, for the stencils, I just have a bunch of stencils that I've pulled out, just all sorts of different ones. I really like working with ones that have the decorative edge better than the ones that have a straight edge, because when you spray it, having that straight line there, it just drives me nuts. So I will probably take the time to lay paper towels or something down around those edges so that I don't have that line. But I've just got all sorts of different ones. And the Harlequin one, I actually cut off the straight edge so that I wouldn't have to mess with that. Those are the stencils that I'm going to use. With the stencils, I just have some Dilutions and Adirondack color sprays that I'll use with those. And let's see, for then session 4, it's your focal point, and she says words or images. For my images, I have my butterfly. I love putting butterflies, so I'm going to have some butterflies cut out to use. It's my trusty rose book that I use all the time, so I'll use flowers from it. I have a 1962, this is Montgomery Ward. I also have a Sears catalog from 1962. These are so awesome. I think I'm going to use people out of this just because I adore it. I love this. So I'll probably use people from this mostly, just to kind of try to keep it all together. I also have lots of magazines with faces and bodies and whatnot cut out in my collage drawers. So I'll have those two. And then for words, I have my little Sterilite 3-drawer unit here. And I've got, these are all phrases that I've cut out. And these are all single words that I've cut out of anything that you can think of. I've probably found words, even coupon flyers, you name it. And then these are just bigger words and phrases. I didn't want them taking up a lot of room inside these drawers. So that's what I'm going to use for my words and images. And then the last step, the last session, is details. So that's when you do your pen work. You can use pencils. She suggests color pencils, graphite, chalks, pastels, markers, just whatever you want to use. Sharpie paint pens. So I've got paint pens here that I'll probably use. I have my Letraset aqua markers that I might use. And then I know, because I always use this, is my Stabilo, my black Stabilo all pencil and a water brush. So those are the products that I'm using. Then the very last step, after you do all of these, you will have a journal that's basically almost completely done. Then you can go back through it bit by bit and add things. You could add journaling. You could do whatever you want, or you could just leave it as it is, and you'll have a full completed journal. So that is what I am doing. I don't think the other things that I'm going to have on hand, of course, just a towel to clean up. I've got a roller brayer. I've got a big stack of deli paper. I got this at Costco. So I've got this just to keep in between the pages, because you're supposed to work through these fast. I honestly will probably break the time rule a little bit, because I know that my pages are going to be pretty wet. I kind of did a little run through here in the back of this one, and this is watered down acrylic paint, and then I sprayed on it with a stencil, and then this is watered down acrylic, and then this is a spray. So this was really wet. So I know that I don't even want to put this in between it, because with the effect that I'm trying to achieve, I know that that's gonna really mess things up. So I will be breaking the rule probably when it comes to the first step, as far as going through and painting really quick. But I've got some paper towels, so I can dab up extra paint off of there. This one I had dabbed up the extra paint off of here, and that's why I had the brayer with me, so I could just do that and try to get up some of the extra. I will keep these. I will also keep, that's the other thing that's going to slow me down a little bit, is every time I use a stencil, I always lay it on a piece of deli paper to get the excess off. So this is the stencil that I had used here. Then I will use this on ATCs, just background for collage, things like that. So for me, I personally am going to take the extra time to do those couple of steps, because I know that it will benefit me and my artwork a whole lot in the future, and that I will end up using a lot of these things later on. And honestly, I hate wasting all that extra paint. I can't just wipe that up and with the paper towel and throw that in the trash. I have to wipe it up on something that I can use later on. So, even just like this, I will use this. So I think that is all that I wanted to share with you. As far as gluing down my collage elements, I'll just probably use Elmer's. I have good luck with Elmer's. I love Yoo-Hoo, but I go through glue sticks so much that I was going broke buying Yoo-Hoo sticks. I've learned that if I put adhesive on the back of the magazine page and the page that I'm gluing it down onto, and then rub it gently with a soft cloth, I, so far, in my collage journal, have not had any of those pages come up, and I've been working in that collage journal for a couple years now. So I'm just going to stick with Elmer's. I believe that might be all that I wanted to share with you really quick. So be sure to go to Shannon Green's YouTube page. Check this out. This is going to be a learning experience for me because this is completely out of my comfort zone. So I'm really anxious to try this. I'm hoping, like I said, that it'll kind of loosen me up and I won't be so controlling over. I know that I don't know. I can't even put words to it, but I know that even though I do my best to listen to my muse and do whatever she says to do next, and I have good luck with that, I still know that I'm pretty controlling in my mind on how I want things to be. And I am hoping to loosen up my brain a little bit, and that this will help me do that. So anyways, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm hoping to be able to record doing each of these sessions. So the next one, actually my first session, will be doing background on all of these pages. I'm planning on setting a timer to see how long it does take me, so hopefully it will only be 15 minutes or a little bit over 15 minutes. Thanks so much, and I will be chatting with you guys later. Bye-bye.